If you've tried to upgrade your laptop or buy a new gaming console this year, you've probably stared at the price tag in disbelief. But this is a very different crisis than the empty shelves we saw a few years ago. Valve's highly anticipated second-generation Steam machine was heavily delayed by hardware constraints, ultimately launching as a, quote, niche offering for $1,049. Apple even hiked prices across its entire hardware lineup, from iPads to the Vision Pro. That sudden price hike triggered immediate market shockwaves. In June of 2026, Apple's stock tumbled, marking its worst trading day since the market crash of 2025. The panic has reached the retail level, too. In Tokyo's Akihabara Electronics District, stores are imposing strict purchasing limits just to stop buyers from hoarding standard DDR5 memory modules. Cargo ships are arriving on time, and logistics ports are clear. Unlike the pandemic-era droughts, the global physical supply chain is functioning exactly as designed. The real problem is that a massive, invisible new buyer has stepped into the market, and they are aggressively consuming the raw physical building blocks of the entire electronics industry. To understand where components are going, we have to look inside the massive automated fabrication plants where the world's memory chips are physically manufactured. Standard DDR5 RAM is flat, while high bandwidth memory, or HBM, is vertically stacked for AI processing. Tech giants are handing suppliers blank checks, so fabs are rapidly pivoting production to high-margin AI contracts. OpenAI's Stargate Project alone devours 40% of global DRAM output. That 40% translates into a massive physical footprint. It equates to consuming roughly 900,000 raw silicon wafers every single month. When the software industry suddenly demands almost half of the world's total physical computing materials, the immediate mathematical result is a severe, unavoidable shortage of everyday consumer hardware. As this chart tracking memory prices shows, the cost of DRAM and NAND flash rocketed by 200 to 400% between the first and fourth quarters of 2025. Major PC manufacturers felt the squeeze instantly. Companies like HP and Dell faced a rapid 15 to 20% increase in their own hardware costs, forcing them to pass those hikes directly to the consumer. At the same time, escalating US-China trade tensions and looming tariffs forced heavyweights to halt sales of older manufacturing equipment to Chinese entities, essentially placing a hard cap on global production capacity. With prices doubling in a single quarter, frustration spilled over into the courts. A massive antitrust class action lawsuit is now targeting the big three memory manufacturers, Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron. The plaintiffs argue that these suppliers are using the current market chaos as a convenient excuse to artificially constrain supply, axe older legacy products entirely, and unlawfully fix prices. The AI boom drained the market while simultaneously creating a vacuum where geopolitical barriers and corporate maneuvering could further tighten the physical hardware supply. For everyday users, the most severe casualty of this crunch is the death of budget devices. Analysts at Gartner project that manufacturing an entry-level, sub-$500 laptop will become entirely financially unviable within 2 years. When this hardware crunch will end depends heavily on who you ask in the industry. Micron CEO Sanjay Mehrotra offers an optimistic forecast, predicting that supply constraints will gradually ease by 2028. But SK Group Chairman Che Taiwan and Kearney's Per Lab offer a much grimmer picture, warning that constraints will likely last until at least 2030. Regardless of which CEO proves correct, the timeline is clear. Consumers are locked into a half-decade or more of premium pricing and artificial scarcity. A potential technical solution to this physical bottleneck is emerging from the software side. Google recently introduced TurboQuant, a memory compression technology. TurboQuant drastically slashes the memory required to run massive large language models, compressing their footprint down by up to 6 times. By reducing total volume of data processed, you directly reduce physical demand for high bandwidth memory. This drop in required infrastructure could finally give consumer fabrication plants a chance to catch their breath. However, until these software efficiencies are globally scaled across data centers, the consumer hardware market remains a deeply hostile environment for buyers. The era of cheap, easy computer upgrades is paused for the foreseeable future. Right now, that aging device sitting on your desk is your best financial defense against the global AI hardware drain.